Church,
What's up, man?
how you feel, baby?
I'm all right, man. Yeah, we on the next installment, man. Inside the business of CUM management. CUM is a double entendre for choices you make. Came back to my next set of apartments where I lived at. You know, after my mother and my father broke up, we left South Union. This is when the single parenting started. When in all actuality, my mother was single due to what people refer to as single nowadays, but she wasn't single in all actuality because she had 2 children with her. So, you know, this is where we came. This was our apartment. As you see, it's condemned right now. You know, shit everywhere looking crazy. But, you know, this when and where, you know, a lot of people end up experiencing what people refer to as baby mama drama. See, in situations like this, you know, guys like to refer to females as being crazy, you know, hard to deal with, hard to manage, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, you know, the situation was created by 2 people. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when that situation isn't thought out and carried out as it was initially set out to be, well then, you know, the family splits and then the mother ends up, you know, alone with the kids. And, you know, when you try to see your kids or visit them or want to feel like you should have time with them or not, well then that's when the baby mama drama comes in, because the original plans that you set out with have not been carried through.
So, church, this topic is very interesting, and one of the things that stood out to me in this chapter, church, when you talked about the man making the promise to the woman, and not just making the promise, but also making a baby and then leaving.
Right.
Church, a lot of that is going on today.
It's a lot of it going on right now, man. And you know, if you think about it, you know, we're gonna step outside, but if you think about it, man, you know, it's just the result. That's why you end up with the results of, you know, in a lot of situations that people be in. You know, you got a lot of people around here right now, gang banging, you know, bullying, clicking up, you know, and all of those things always have been going on maybe since the beginning of time. But, you know, I just feel that if the situation was stronger at home with both parents in place, where somebody was showing those kids, you know, how to love instead of how to hate,
right,
instead of how to, you know, learn how to appreciate the next man for his gifts and talents, and instead of wanting to tear him down, well, you know, you might want to observe him and possibly get with him and find out how you can make yourself better. But, you know, as far as the baby mama drama is concerned, a female don't have a choice but to act out, lash out, and present to the male what he would probably consider as drama, because, you know, she's unhappy. You know, she come from a situation that you may have promised her that you were going to do this, promised her you were going to do that when you had her in a vulnerable position. But then at the end of the day, somewhere down the line, you know, you may have defaulted on that promise, which leaves her back against the wall where she don't have no choice but to lash out, find herself in a situation like this. You know what I'm saying? Like where we are right now. Well, you know, the situation is dire at best. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I can talk about it because I come from here. When I answer the door in the apartment that I lived in. You know what I'm saying? It's South Park, the dead end. You know, and that's just what it is.
So, church, let's talk more about that promise that the man made to the woman. Can we go in depth on the promise?
Well, I mean, a lot of promises, a lot of men could possibly make promises when you got a woman, like I said, in a vulnerable situation where you land now, you know, you injecting yourself into her, and her mind may not be stable or focused on, you know, what she should be thinking about, the big picture, when she in an emotional state. When you know, possibly getting ready to have sex and everything like that, you might say anything you need to say to make the situation better, to make her feel good, or to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. But at the end of the day, you know, when it's time to, you know, to cash in on those promises, she's expecting a level of commitment from you,
a certain outcome
from what you told her. But then when you show her something else, well then that's when your baby mama drama comes in, and your child support, and, you know, all of the negativity that would be associated with a situation like that a lot of men possibly created, you know, on their own.
So, church, when it comes to that promise, and the man promising the woman that, you know, we're gonna have the world together. We're gonna have the nice house, like you said, with the picket fence. We're gonna have the nice cars. We're gonna travel the world. And then when those things don't happen, but before those things, church, is nothing but words. And like you said, that woman is waiting for a certain outcome from the man or from the relationship in order to for the promise to be fulfilled. But what happened is, because of the fact she sold on the promise, church, a baby shows up.
Right, right. And when a baby shows up, it depending on how you feel about it as a man, you could look at it as it's complicating the situation. And if there's something that I don't want to do, or something that I may not be ready for, or something that ends up being the product of a lie that I told to get what I wanted, just to feel good for that moment when I was there, well then you putting the kid and the mother in a bad situation.
And I think, church, the hard part that you wrote in the book, when you talked about not just the man made the promise, he made the baby, but then he turned around and leave to go repeat the situation all over again. But this time he's in a ready-made family where the kids are already there, and he's there in the situation with another lady that already has kids.
But see, in a situation like that, it's not even about the kids, because if you can put yourself in a position to leave your own kids that you laid there
Right.
and made
Right.
on purpose or accident with somebody that you lied and made promises to, well then that situation is over. And you find yourself with another female who maybe has kids of her own from someone else that left like you left your situation.
Right.
Well, you're not there for the kids because you weren't there for your own kids. You there for what you there for, and that's the female. But the females need to stop, allowing this to happen to them, and males need to stop, portraying that image of themselves as well. Because what we're doing is we continue to cripple our community, and not putting the proper value on marriage being a commodity. You understand what I'm saying? Because now it's the family structure is no longer in place, and that's why as a kid, you see kids growing up just with their mother. Some sons growing up just with their mother, and they watching their mother all day. Well, if you watching your mother all day, you watching your mother go to the restroom.
Right.
Every time
Right.
she go to the restroom, she gonna sit down. But then when you find yourself going to the restroom, you don't know no better, because you don't have nobody in place to show you that you're supposed to stand up, leak that thing, shake that thing, and put it back where it go. But then you're gonna find yourself going to the restroom, sitting down.
Right.
You watching your mother prepare to get ready to go to work. She putting on lipstick, putting on makeup, making up her hair, making up her face, putting on wigs, dressing like a girl. Music come on. They had a song back in the day, "Ooh, that's just my baby daddy." You know what I'm saying? Females was dancing and shaking their butt to that, and not knowing that, they were celebrating something that was derogatory to them as well, as with the title of alone. "Ooh, that's just my baby daddy." Who and how could you be proud of being labeled with a title of "that's just my baby daddy"? And you should want more out of the situation when you lay down there and create a baby. You know what I'm saying? That should be my baby's father. That should be my husband. But if in a situation when you're making those promises, and those promises ended up being broken and turning into lies, females, make them give you the proper upgrade, because if he's going to put a baby in you, you should want him to put a ring on it and give you the proper upgrade of making you a wife, instead of just being somebody's baby mama.
Right.
It's the worst thing you could be.
Right. So, church, is it okay for us to say that the baby mama title is okay in today's time?
It's never okay. I mean, I would never want a female to just be a baby mama. My mother ended up, being my daddy's baby mama. But in all actuality, they were married until my daddy died. But he wasn't over here with us. So that left me and my brother to, be raised by a strong black woman. But I mean, she couldn't rear us properly to show us how to be men. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for, the males that we had around us, the older guys, and the guys that I wouldn't consider to be role models, but guys that, we were able to look to and see what a male's supposed to do, and so on and so forth, that we didn't grow up being male versions of our mother. And a lot of that's going on as well.
Right. Church, one of the things, as I was reading this chapter, one of the things that really caught my attention when you talked about after the man make the promise, and then after the baby is made, when he leaves at that moment, church, you say he's diagnosed with poor com management.
Poor com management. That's right. Diagnosed with poor com management. And that's the epidemic that I feel the world is suffering from. PCM, if you want to just break it down into alphabets. Poor com management. You know, when you are not in the proper mindset or thought process, when you laying down, spreading your reproductive seed around, you know, carelessly, and not taking into the seriousness of what could come from that. Because every time you lay down and spread your reproductive seed with someone, you're doing two things. You're taking a chance on creating a life, and you're also taking a chance on ending a life. You're taking a chance on bringing a child into the world. You're taking a chance on, you know, ending your life by catching an STD, AIDS, or you might be transmitting it, giving it to the female, giving her AIDS. So, you know, it's risky business, man, and it's serious business. And that's why we talking about inside the business, because you'd rather be on the inside looking out than on the outside looking in.
So church, so we know society has shown us that there's a lot of single parents, there's a lot of baby mamas, but there's also a baby daddy.
Yes.
A man that's taking care of his child, and the woman is doing the totally opposite, and she's just as responsible as he is, but she sold him a promise, and she's not fulfilling that promise too. Can we talk about that, church?
You mean the situation where the roles are reversed and the man is
absolutely
carrying the weight?
Yes.
I'm familiar with those situations as well, and I take my hat out to those type of brothers that step up to the plate and carry their weight. But you know, being selective in the process of finding someone to sow the reproductive seed with, you know, that's why my book and my message don't have no particular demographic. It's for everybody, because as the roles reverse, you flip the coin over. Now you got the man carrying the weight and doing what the mothers usually do. So, you know, they say the baby is mama's baby, daddy's maybe. But then when the daddy ended up carrying the weight of the situation and the mom stepped out and she didn't want to do it, well then, you know, that's way more worse. You know what I'm saying?
So church, growing up over here in South Park, how was it when it comes to, you know, the single parents? Was it a lot of single parents growing up over here in South Park?
Well, when I was growing up right here in these apartments, it's the Orleans apartments, the dead end. When I was growing up right here, I was the age of 5 to 9, so I can't really remember, you know, what the single parent situation was over here. But you know, I'm sure it was what it was. But you know, as we continue to move forward and continue to unfold this story and talk about inside the business, next week we're gonna be in the Villa Americana, and that's where, you know, my observation really kicked in, and I started to decide that, you know, once I got myself in position to become anyone's parent, I would definitely want to do better and, you know, have a better situation for the life that I brought into the world, you know, than the situation that I grew up in. So like right here in these apartments, I can't really remember, you know, back that far of what was going on around me so much for single parents. You know, as a kid, you just know you're a kid and you just having fun, you just doing what you do. But I know one thing, I didn't see too many people had no daddy around, so, you know,
Wow.
that's definitely a fact.
Inside of the business of the choices you make, Sir Churchill Williams always takes us inside from chapter to chapter, from layer to layer. We learn more and more about the importance of why Churchill keeps stressing about be careful about the reproductive seed. With that seed brings forth either a good tree or a bad tree. And my name is Lamille Truitt, and I'm Mr. Cult Ron Uncut. And just this whole journey has been very interesting being with Church, because Churchill is very passionate about these titles when it comes to can you afford to be a parent, you know, the mind of a player. Each one of these chapters, Churchill have taken me from level to level on why he wrote these particular topics. And the great thing is that, you know, my time and me being busy and running around, I have to kind of sit down and really take my time and read to really grasp Churchill's mindset on why he wrote this chapter and why the reproductive seed is so important to him. And when it comes to building a kingdom, all those things are very important, not just to church, but they should be important to you. But you know what? Next week, you can find us and at a new location with another installment with Mr. Sir Churchill Williams himself, taking another look at another topic that's profound. Until then, my name is Lamille Truitt with Inside of the Business of the Choices You Make. Take care.